Alrighty, welcome to this episode of the Career Catapult podcast. Every once in a while, we got to go back to the basics, you guys. You are likely here on this channel because you are the sort of person who's looking to land promotions, maybe a skip level promotion in your career. And we can talk about all kinds of things here, but every once in a while, we have to come back to the basics. We have to come back to exactly what I know is on your heart and mind, which is how exactly am I going to land this job, especially now in this climate, okay? We are in a different market than I would say than we've ever been. I mean, I've been through many of the different seasons, the .com, the '08, all the things, right? But this has a unique flavor to it. Okay. There's just so much that's happening. This is an ultra competitive market. If you are currently a director looking for a VP level role, chances are you're competing with C-suite leaders who can't land another C-suite role, so they're taking a demotion, VPs looking for a lateral, directors like yourself looking for a promotion. I mean, everybody is looking at that same role. And so that's made for a very ultra competitive sort of pressure cooker, right, that we're all in. Not to mention the interview processes themselves are becoming much more rigorous, right? I was just in conversation with one of our alumni who had success in our program, exited and is looking to come back. And we were talking about just how different it is now. Okay, because she's looking at roles where the company is saying, we want you to put together a 90-day plan. We want you to put together a SWOT analysis. We're looking for strategies. I mean, chances are if you're looking for a senior leadership role, you will be expected to do some work as part of the interview process, some actual, put a deck together of some sort, right? Um, so yeah, we're seeing the process evolve as it relates to companies hiring. Companies are still hiring, very much so, but they're doing it in a different way. They're being smarter about it. And you may have heard me talk about why this is, right? I mean, there's lots of factors, there's lots of macroeconomic factors for sure. However, I think that some of the changes we're seeing to the job search process, especially for executives and senior leaders, is coming on the heels of the post-COVID period. During the COVID era, companies really accelerated, let's say, their hiring process for executives. It was the first time ever that we had, hired people in mass off of Zoom, people that you'd never met before, right? There was also a lot of, I would say a lot of companies were accelerating their DEI processes, which fed into the hiring. I mean, all kinds of things. We can get into that another day. But now companies are deciding to take their time, be a bit more rigorous, de-risk the process a lot more because they introduced a lot of risk in the process, let's face it. And now they're looking to de-risk the process and increase the likelihood that they'll get the right person. That's what it really comes down to. Okay. So all of this is making for a very interesting experience while you're looking for your next role. And notwithstanding, you can absolutely land this role. Every single day, our clients are landing promotions and skip level promotions internally and externally, and you can do the same. Okay. Now, today's podcast episode is titled 3 Steps to Land Your Role as Director, VP, or C-suite Leader. 3 steps to land that role. And if it's taking you longer than 4 to 6 months to land this job, chances are you're missing one of these 3 steps. I'm just going to say it. If it's taking you, and many of you have reached out to me and you're saying, oh my gosh, it's taking me 9 months. It's taking me 12 months. It's taking me 18 months. It's never taken this long before. And I can't seem to do this. Chances are you are missing one of the steps I'm about to share with you now. These are the steps that are contained in our program inside the Career Catapult Executive Coaching Program, especially on the external track. These are the steps that are contained. There are many more, but these are the 3 that will make all the difference. Okay. And I want to share them with you here candidly. Whether you choose to work with us and do this, or you want to do this on your own, that's fine. But you have to be doing these steps or you will not land the job in this market. Okay. So let's get right into those 3 steps. Step 1 is crafting a compelling career narrative, which we call your self-inventory. Your self-inventory is a collection, if you will, of the most compelling stories in your career, especially the most recent ones, that rise to the level of the role that you're seeking. So first you have to excavate your career to figure out what those stories will be, what the experiences and the wins are that you've had, that will resonate at the level that you're seeking. But you then have to elevate those stories. This is where most people get it wrong. They just write out the stories. Let's say that you were a director when you did this job, when you did whatever project it was. Okay. If you don't elevate it, you will sound like a director when you tell the story, right? And you cannot land a VP level role sounding like a director. So there's an elevation that needs to happen. This is what we do all day. I do this 5 times by noon, okay, with our clients, because every single client has to go through this process to elevate their story to the level that they're seeking. Otherwise, it just won't land. And if your goal is to land a skip level promotion, you cannot skip the step. The word choices, the KPIs, the behaviors and competencies, the actions that you took, all of those things need to align. They need to say whatever it is that is required at that next level. Okay. So that is your compelling career narrative, your self inventory. If you are missing any of the elements I just talked about, it will show. It will show. Step 2 is networking. Everyone's favorite, right? Networking. The job you want, yes, may be posted on LinkedIn, but it is unlikely to be filled that way. It is unlikely that if the company's hiring a C-suite leader, hiring an SVP, that job will be filled from people who have hit the apply button on LinkedIn. So if you're sitting on your computer just applying to a bunch of jobs and that's your primary method, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying that you should not put all your eggs in that basket, because that is unlikely to be the place where this role will come from. It is likely that this role will come from you in connection with another person. It is likely that this company, the company you want to work for, who has the budget to hire you and pay you at a competitive level, that company likely has a significant recruiting budget, and they're not spending that entire budget on LinkedIn applications. Okay. They're hiring headhunters. They are giving referral bonuses. Okay. So if you are not creating a strong Rolodex of people, and this doesn't have to take that long. 50% of our clients land their role from someone they already knew before they joined us. The other 50% land the role from someone they did not know before they joined our program. Because in our program, in a matter of 60 days, you can have a network filled with the right level of leaders who can actually hire you. But you cannot be haphazard. It cannot be happenstance. It cannot be just when you feel like it. This is why we have metrics. We have numbers associated with our networking and our tracking, so that we know exactly where our clients are and we know how to close those gaps to get them to their goal. Okay. The other thing that's important with networking is you cannot just be talking to anybody. Chances are you are a busy person. You may have a job currently. You may have a full life currently. You don't have the time to just talk, just to be talking, to be coffee chatting for the sake of it, which means that who you network with is important. For us, we call that influential leaders, and influential leaders are those who are hiring manager level and above, the people who actually can hire you or can play a key role in your hiring process. So these are the elements. It's time for you to audit your activity in these areas. Are you networking just kind of when you feel like it? Are you talking to the right people? Do you have the scripts? Do you know what to say to somebody who you don't know, such that they are actually like, yeah, I'll hop on a call with you? These are the things. Okay. Let's go to number 3. Step 3 is what we call role plays. Interview role plays. This is where we practice over and over and over and over. For some people, it's 10 times. For others, it's 50 times. We practice every conceivable interview question and interview style for the level that you're seeking. It's not enough for you to know how to answer a behavioral question. Maybe you tell me about a time when you've done this. That's great. And you will get those, and you should know them. But there are other styles of interviews. There's panel, there's technical, there's case. There is unstructured, where there are no questions and it's completely conversational. And a lot of people tell me, oh, I actually prefer that. I prefer the conversational style interview, except that they don't really understand how to nail it. They think that they're in there just having a chat. And this is why you have chats that seem like they're going somewhere, but at the end of the day, it does not lead to the offer. It's because there's a framework, there's a methodology to navigate those conversations, even the more unstructured ones. What about the curveball interview, the contentious interview, the one where everything seems to be going well and boom, out of left field, the interviewer just says something that's maybe even borderline rude, you know? Maybe you're so used to people being polite and pleasant, and now they've brought in this person in the interview process who's not polite and pleasant, who's contentious, who's confrontational, right? They're not inappropriate. You can't say they haven't crossed any lines, but they're not warm and fuzzy and sugary sweet like you're used to. Do you know how to handle yourself in those conversations? Have you practiced enough of them to where you're not fazed by them? These are the things that it's hard to put on paper, and yet they make all the difference. And this is why a person can go through interviews, have 15 interviews with the same company, eventually get the rejection, and be told by the interviewer, they loved you. They loved you, but they just went with someone who they felt had the right fit. It was the right fit for the company. And you're wondering, what does that even mean? Chances are it had nothing to do with your experience or any of that. It's just the way you conducted yourself in one of these rounds of interviews did not match the level that you're seeking. And that's what they mean by fit. Okay. So these 3 steps must happen. And my guess is they're happening on some level. My guess is the opportunity area for you is not that you're not doing any of these. Chances are you have a list of stories. Chances are you are networking in some way. Chances are you are practicing some interviews. But what is the depth of that? Do you have a framework that wins? Do you have the right processes? Do you have the right scripts? Okay. That's likely what is afoot. It's not that you're not doing any of this at all. It's how well you're doing it and how consistently you're doing it and how effectively you're doing it. Okay. This is why our program exists. This is why we have the program, the Career Catapult Executive Coaching Program. The external track is focused on exactly this. This is our repeatable methodology for taking you from where you are now to that role, to that offer. And every day people think that they say to me, oh, maybe I just don't have the right experience. Maybe I just need more experience in this or that. It's not your experience. You already have the experience. You are already qualified. That's not the work. You don't need another degree, another certification, none of that. It's these 3 things, but they are deep. There are levels to them. Okay. And there are even more levels now in this climate. You can absolutely win in this market, but you won't win unless you do the work to make it happen. If you know that you would benefit from working with us inside the Career Catapult program to not only have access to these steps and the frameworks and the methodology and everything I just covered, but to actually work with me, okay, to apply it in your own unique situation, then go ahead and apply to work with us by visiting cycprogram.com. CYC stands for Catapult Your Career, cycprogram.com. Click that link and fill out the application, and let's have a conversation and see if what we do is right for you. Thanks for listening, and I wish you all of the luck in this climate, in this market. You have exactly what it is that you need to be successful, so let's go crush it. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon.